Amazing GovCon winners, I know you want to know, how do you bid as a middleman on Unison? And for those of you watching the restream, feel free to comment in the chat, because I know you want to know how to do this. So I've decided that I am going to go over this. Sorry about that. When it comes to Unison, or giving extra percent, is what I've decided to do, because it is it's a platform that many may be unaware of. Good evening, good evening. Maybe you are aware of it. Who knows? But what I do know is it's often overlooked, and it's one of the fastest platforms, fastest ways, fastest option to win a government contract, if this is the marketplace that you're interested in. So I am ecstatic to dig into Unison. If anyone has any particular areas that's of interest on Unison, I am going to share this with you all. Okay, just one moment. Okay, terrific. So this is Unison, and I'll provide background on this in a second. As I get ready to do that, if there are any particular areas you want me to jump into, let me know. Otherwise, it's going to be dealer's choice. So what's up, Z Big Daddy, Cheryl, everyone who's here, you all are amazing. And I'm just ready to dig in. So we're going to go through this, because this is about how to bid as a middleman, Unison Marketplace. Unison Marketplace and Unison in and of itself, they are a government contractor, okay? So they have an extreme benefit by having all of us bid on their website, because they get to show the government, hey, look, and I'm going to show you guys. I know you're probably like, where is this screen? Where did she go with this thing? So here, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to reshare for everyone. Thank you for your patience with me. Okay, terrific. So Unison, and I'm going to put the link right here. This organization you can go under contract vehicles, and you can see that they have a GSA schedule. So they are an active government contractor. So as I was saying, they have an interest for all of us to use their website, because it allows the federal government to save so much money and to acquire what they're looking to acquire very quickly. In order to be able to access Unison, you have to be able to log in, and you need a cage code and a UEI to log in. If you don't have these, then you're not going to be able to log in. The other thing, and let's see if there's any acquisitions, any topics you want me to check out the beanies. Oh, like the Department of Bureaus of Prison, Cheryl? Okay, awesome. I was listening to your other video on the way home. Thanks. Anytime. So what has happened is, because the federal government knows, hey, wait a minute, you mean I can post something here and save potentially a ton of taxpayer dollars, and that way I'm going to save money, I'm going to look good, and I'm going to get a competent vendor? Come on, I'm going to do something here. And you can see there's a whole slew of opportunities. Look, there's 588. You win one. I mean, you probably have better odds at winning a government contract than the lotto. Okay, let's type in beanies. Okay, I'm really glad that you brought this up, because I'm going to walk you through how to respond. So thank you so much, Cheryl. So you'll notice it's a different kind of platform, right? And they like to tout themselves as being the platform of the unusual, the platform of the weird. So you'll find things in here from beanies all the way to weapons, to food, to books, to staffing. It's a whole smorgasbord. And I also want to say thank you all so much for being here. And in case you're wondering who the heck this beautiful woman is with her hair pushed back, my name is Dr. Kizzy Parks. I've been awarded over $70 million in federal government contracting, and I'm just here to walk you through how to bid as a middleman, Unison Marketplace. Okay. So for this one, they want these different beanies, and they broke down the requirements. Here's the style guide, here's the stitch. So 25,000, 10,000, 20,000. Now you may say, what, beanies? Where am I supposed to get this? A printing company. There's several of them. You've probably even seen a commercial for one. So let's say you were interested in this and you're like, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm all about this. I want to bid on this. So I'm going to write down this. I'm going to share with you the steps. I'm not going to be on too long tonight because I want to go to bed here soon, but I want to share this with you all. And I'm going to break down the steps that I would take if I were to bid on this. So first and foremost, I get an idea, how much time do I have? Okay, I got almost 15 days. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to contact a company who's able to handle this. Got it. And also I want to know, what are the evaluation criteria? How are they going to decide? So here you notice, and if you see it, type yes in the comments, the basis of award. So if you see what I have highlighted, type yes in the comments, basis of award. And it says commercial items, the following factor shall be used to evaluate offers. Technically acceptable of the item, of the item offered to meet the government requirement and price. Evaluation is, and thank you so much, Stormy, Cheryl, and others for commenting. I really appreciate it, Bobby. Evaluation is based on a lowest price, technically acceptable. Ninfa. So in other words, they're saying, hey, as long as you're able to provide these beanies, you just have to provide the lowest cost. So it's kind of a gamble if you don't know this industry, because this will often happen. So if I were to bid on this, I would go to the internet. Many others have shared this online before. Like you go online, you Google, and you find some vendors. and they're the experts, and you take their price and then you put it on there. Well, what's going to happen is these experts that you contact, they're giving you almost like a retail price. So the price that they're giving you is a bit higher. They're not giving you the price at cost. And the other bonus strategy is, how do you know that that company isn't a government contractor? So it's really important to go on sam.gov and look to see if that company is a government contractor, or to ask them, hey, I'm just curious, are you guys going to bid on this too? Because how are you able to compete against the company who is actually providing the beanies, the source? They're the source. So if I were to bid on this, I would identify the organizations. I would make sure they weren't bidding on this. They weren't registered in SAM. I'd verify that they were able to provide the requirement, because it's very specific. I mean, this is for the Army. I want to make sure that I make the Army proud and give them exactly what they need. And then I would probably lower the price that the vendor gave me, because this is lowest cost technically acceptable. And the thing is, for something like this in Unison, they have these different information in here. They have the shipping instructions. Just give me a moment. I'll share this with you. And the shipping instructions, these are instructions you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to. It says between 7:30 and 11, 1 and 3. So make sure you handle that. You don't want something delivered at noon. Next, you're going to want to open the other attachment, which is about new specifications. Okay, so I'll show you all that one too. Because I want you to see that while the concept is pretty easy to dissect and digest, right? Like, Army needs these beanies. I find somebody to provide the beanies, and then I make sure it's delivered. But I also want you to see where there's room for error, right? You have to have it shipped at a certain time. You have to make sure the right color, the right logo, like everything is correct. You don't want to purchase some beanies and then they misspell Army, or the star isn't the right star. And then also they need pre-production samples, pre-award samples. So this may be something where you're like, man, I really don't want to be involved. This is something I would consider, this is like medium risk. They're very specific, the type of pallets, very, very, very specific. As you can see, oh, it didn't show you guys. I'm sorry, you all, just 1 second. I'm over here taking a look at all of these. This document, you're probably like, what is she talking about? So I want you to see, right? You see the beanie right there? Okay, great. So you can see this is what they desire. And then here's the palette instructions. Here's another beanie, palette, all kinds of things like that. So they're super specific because there's a particular color scheme, no different than Coca-Cola or Pepsi. The Army is a brand. They actually license out their logo too. The Marines does it also. So you can, yes, so Stormy, you can go into SAM. You have to log into the workspace and you can look up companies to see if they have a cage code. If you don't mark up the cost, how much profit can you expect? Josh, I believe you may be getting at like, so let me run with that. If you don't mark up the cost at all, then you wouldn't make any profit. For something like this, because it's lowest cost and there's a lot of companies out there who sell things like beanies. I mean, there's companies that, you know, they brand phones, they brand pin. So any kind of clothing branding company would be interested in this. You may only make a 2 or 3%. What's up, Damien? Profit. So this is also something to be aware of, because many out there who talk about the middleman may not share sometimes the profit, because you put in all this work to find these vendors, to put in all these bids, but they're the source. So the person who is the source, they have all the power. And then on top of it, they, even with the Buy American Act, maybe for these type of beanies, in order for the Army to get them in the time that they want them, and I'll scroll down, so those who are joining, my name is Dr. Kizzy Parks. I've been awarded over $70 million in federal government contracts, and I appreciate you all being here. Here I'm scrolling up so you can just have an idea. Maybe the supplier's like, hey, it's going to take 2 months to get them in the States, but if you go through Asia, it may only take 1 month. And so then you have to deal with that. You have to check to make sure there aren't any holidays, there aren't any issues, there's not something that could prolong you getting these. So that's another drawback from this if you decide to go this route. I'm going to share my screen so you can see. Oh, that is Unison proper. Just one moment. So Unison Marketplace, the link is in the is right there in the chat. Just going to stop sharing here. Yeah, 20 to 30% would be way too high, Josh Walking 777. And the reason for it is the evaluation criteria. They're not going to, they've already made it clear that they're only going with the lowest cost vendor. So if you add 20%, you're going to price yourself out. Because what's important is to think similar to how we shop. If somebody's offering you this phone case for $30, but then somebody else is offering you this phone case, this exact same phone case for $10, and it's the same one, who are you going to go with? You're probably going to go with the $10 one. You're not going to pay the extra money. So the same is true with the federal government. Here on Unison, you receive a username and password. Excuse me. And you notice there's over 500 posted today, 203 items. And while it's the fourth quarter, it may be one of the reasons that they're posting so many, but there's a lot there. It's kind of, I mean, excuse me, Dibs is a different type of platform in that is specifically for DoD. They have really interesting things on there. It's just, this is a platform to help the entire government save money because it's a reverse auction. That's why this is such a hit. So another strategy is when you bid, you have to bid high. You're a bid higher, and then you got to decrease. On your platform, do you have to pay up front, or is it So for when it comes to the federal government, you're paid after you do the work. You're rarely paid ever before. That's why, again, it's something to be aware of when it comes to middleman and products. But let's take a look. Let's see here. Let's take a look at some of, see, you have here some IT. I'm going to take a look at one of my favorites. I like professional services. I also like training. And you can see this is easy to use. You can watch something by just clicking a button. It's really cool platform. They're also really cool. Their phone number's on there. You can call them anytime. So I'm going to go to education and social services. So let's take a look at this core competency training. Okay, terrific. Would you need suppliers credit to get a deal done, or can you put manufacturer companies on a net 30? It's a great question, Damien. You got to ask. In order to receive, you got to ask. Some vendors are like, no. Some vendors are open to it. Because when it comes to products, you're asking, I mean, this isn't a beanie, but let's say hypothetically it is. And for those of you just joining, we just reviewed an opportunity for beanies. If you're buying 20,000 beanies, someone's going to want their money, right? Because how do I know that you're going to pay me and now I'm out 20,000 beanies? So these are things to think about when you're looking at the products. Unless you have the cash flow, which could be credit cards, line of credit, friends and family, who knows? So let's look at a services one. This one is to provide training the 11th through the 15th of September. You can see it's a small business set aside, so pretty much most people would qualify for that, and only small businesses can bid. Then what we're looking for is basis of award, evaluation, some derivative of that, because it's key to know how are they evaluating this. So in the previous one, we looked at beanies, and thank you again, Cheryl, for sharing that. It explicitly said lowest cost. So if I add a 50% profit margin to my beanies, I'm already knocking myself out. So it may make better sense to not even bid on it. So let's take a look at this one. And it's lowest price. Because again, one of the benefits of this platform is it's saving the government money. And it's training. This is really low risk. Without even opening any of the attachments, I already know that this is probably training that you can find somebody on LinkedIn, on Google to provide these services. Then I proceed to open the attachments, which I am doing here, and I will share this with you. Terrific. So the training must be done in person. They're providing information on the objectives, and this is for special forces, non-commissioned officers, warrant officers. So already in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this has to be somebody probably who was served in that position. And okay, they have to be able to maintain a secret clearance and have two of the following. Okay, great. So one thing is, when it comes to this, and that's why you haven't even seen me open up any kind of other attachments. Yeah, Eric, I'm not playing. And that is, I don't just rush to do a proposal. It's not like, oh, beanies, let me rush. Because when you do that, you're going to end up broke, you're going to end up frustrated, and you're going to end up defeated. because it's not about rushing to do a proposal. It's understanding, especially with a middleman, because the whole concept is you're subbing out, you're subbing out, you're subbing out, you're getting a supplier, you're getting a supplier, you're getting a supplier, right? So I need to be well aware of what these people are asking for, because my time is valuable. All of your time is valuable. The fact that you're here at this hour speaks volumes to who you are, right? So I look at this and I'm like, okay, let me take a look. So, and it's 12 pages, which isn't too long. And then it says it requires a secret clearance. Okay, well, guess what? What that means is your company has to have a secret clearance. So that's a no-go. I can't bid on this. This isn't something to bid on whatsoever. I don't have a clearance, not going to get one in a day, so it's not something to bid on. What you're also going to find as you're going through this, you're going to go through a lot of opportunities. I could have easily brought up several opportunities to quickly walk you through, because before going live, I would have looked them up online. But this is how it works. It's you fishing to find. It may be that you look at 200, but think about it. That 200 can lead to $1 million contract or a $5 million contract, like with Brandon Hendricks, who I interviewed on my channel. Or even you get a contract where you make $2,000. It's $2,000 more than you had 5 minutes ago. You know, it's like, that's the beautiful thing, in my opinion, about business, is you never know where things are going to take you. You definitely want to be more strategic as time goes on, but especially for those of you starting off, there are a lot of low-hanging fruit on here that you can bid on. You know, I'll go over just a couple of janitorial ones, and thank you, Cheryl, just so you can see. And the only reason I'm going over these is I know a lot of people ask me about them, and that's why I'm doing it. I have my various views, but I will go over this. This one in particular is very intense, and it involves cleaning horse stables and holding cells, and it's not something that I suggest that you bid on unless you really are experienced. So let's take a look at this one. California, there we go. Although I'm more of a Texas, Georgia, Florida girl, I still love California, and I'm actually going there soon for a retreat. I love the spiritual advisor, the Hood Healer, so I'm going there soon. Oh, I call it a retreat. It's an event she's having. So if you remember, and you're welcome to type it in the box, and for those of you who are just joining here on the live, my name is Dr. Kizzy Parks. I've been awarded over 70 million in federal government contracts. The first thing that you're going to look at is what is the basis of the award. So we scroll and we're looking on the far left, because even though Unison is more user-friendly, you never know where they tuck it in. There we go. Did anybody catch it? It's right here. So they're again saying lowest price technically acceptable, but this is for 5 years. So it's a base plus 4. So keep that in mind. Even if on the worst end, you're making $300 a month, you're making $300 a month for 5 years on an opportunity that you're not even doing the work. I mean, that's still great. I'm not saying that's all you're going to make, or that you should only strive to make $300 a month. I just want to put this out there, because especially for this the middleman and how it's pitched, volume may be needed. Okay, so now let's take a look at what do they need, because it says landscaping. And I love that you shared that, Cheryl, because I found my biggest learnings come from losing too. I've lost way more, probably I have lost hundreds, of millions of dollars. I missed out on a huge contract vehicle. That alone could have cost us a much. There's something right now where we've lost millions of dollars because we haven't won. We're competing against about anywhere from 10 to 24 other companies for the work. And you know what? You just don't give up. We brush it off. Me being me, we meaning my team and I. We just brush it off. Because if I sit back and I'm like, oh man, I lost. This is so hard. This is a mindset game, y'all. I've been in this space for 15 years. I'm so passionate about this. Because it's easy to watch a TikTok and say, oh, I'm going to come in here and change my life with government contracting. Of course you can change your life with government contracting, but it still requires putting in that work and having that mindset of, okay, I don't win, I keep going. Oh, I can't find a vendor, they don't want to give me a price. Okay, I keep going. Because you've come this far, why give up? Why give up? So this right here is called a statement of work. And what you're looking for is the place of performance. And you can already see how drastically different this is in comparison to the beanies, right? The beanies are very, very specific. You have to give them a pre-quote sample, a pre-award sample, right? It's very, very different. With this, let's take a look. It's a whopping 3 pages at Coast Guard Station Channel Island in Oxnard, California. They want landscaping. Okay, so a person needs a valid driver's license. I have a quick story. Once, oh my goodness, I had a subcontractor who didn't have a valid driver's license. And the only reason I found out is because we happened to be at this thing together, and I was wondering why the person wasn't driving. I was just like, how does a grown adult not have a valid driver's license, and why do I not know this? So this means it's very important that you ask this. So again, instead of, oh, let me just go pick up the phone, let me pick up the phone, let me go online, let me find these landscaping companies. Pause. Make sure the landscaping people have a valid driver's license. Okay? Make sure that they understand where they need to go. Make sure they understand how to conduct themselves at a Coast Guard location. You don't want to lose work or have someone be upset at you because the people that you middleman to aren't doing the things that they need to do. And we make assumptions. Oh, they're supposed to be the expert. You own the company. You create the rules. So they're letting you know, here's the point of contact. Here's the scope of work. Okay, I mean, and if anything here seems ridiculous, type yes. So far, I mean, I don't know much about landscaping, but there's nothing here where I'm like, right? But if anything here seems out of the ordinary, type yes. I learned so much from you. Thank you. Nagat, anytime, and hopefully I said your name right. I'm not trying to butcher anybody's name here. Also, let me just double check questions, and I appreciate you all. As listening, got this. What would be a good NAICS code to use when creating an LLC? Tiki, it's any NAICS code that you want. I like the admin services one, but that's just me. You know, you got to do what's best for you. I'll probably be on maybe 5 to 10 more minutes, everyone. I just want to let you know because I'm getting a little sleepy. I like being on here at all different hours. And again, I can't thank you all enough because I just want you all to have what it takes to find, bid, and win. That's what it's about, you guys. And when I say you guys, I mean everybody, you know. I'm a Midwesterner, live in Florida. I have a lot of little weird things I say, okay? It's just, this is how it is. That's what happens when you got a multi-million-dollar company. You do stuff like that. Okay, so, oh my goodness, y'all. So you see, okay, here's what you have to do. They're not going to set up the tools for you, right? They have to do all of that. You would have to do all of that. And then you see it's 5 years. This is the base, and these are the option years. So again, before we rush, thank you so much. I'm so glad you're registered on Unison. But before rushing, okay, let me go online like the cat. Let me find somebody to do this. Like you're all tweaking. Understand what we're getting into. They don't have to exercise the option year. That's why they call it exercising. It's no different than the gym. How many people have a gym membership and you ain't never been? You don't have to exercise. So when you get an award that has multiple years, like a 5-year contract, this is a 5-year contract, and this is what you want because it would bring ongoing revenue. You have to make sure you're always exceeding expectations. Because if not, they're going to be like, did y'all see the landscapers? What are they doing over there? Whose contract is that? You don't want that. You want them to be like, who's that over there? Man, this has never looked so good here. And I've been stationed here for 7 years. That's what you want. If you have one NAICS code for your business, but the solicitation lists another code, should we still submit proposals? Yes. And try to update it in SAM if you can. The reason I say try is because I know that SAM, they're doing a lot of different things to their portal. Dianica, thank you so much too. So yeah, bid. This I don't comment much. Oh, good. I'm glad. I appreciate you. And I know there's a lot of you who don't comment, and that's cool. I'm just here again to help empower every one of you. Okay, so this one's pretty easy peasy. So here's what you do. Here are the steps. So however you like to take notes, get ready, okay? Let me stop sharing. First step, and that is to identify landscape companies or people. It could be Tom's Landscaping, and it's Tom. I hired somebody very similar to that to take care of my investment property. Let me take a look at 1 second, A Creative Flow. So he's amazing. He is amazing. He put in sod. He did all this stuff. He does landscaping. I am blown away by this man. So what's important is in the attachment, you only want to give them, hey, here are the requirements. You cut and paste them. And by the way, here's what the expectations are. So it's section 11 and section 6 from the Word document. You call them, you email them. Hey, I'm in the middle of bidding on this opportunity, and I would love to get a price quote of your services to do the following. 2 things, because we haven't even opened the pricing part yet. Before you even call any of these companies, check on sam.gov, log into your workspace to make sure that they are not a registered government contractor. Or if you still want to call them, although they registered, ask them. I noticed that you're in SAM. Are you going to bid on this too? That's a tip to do. So I have 52. I don't know what you're looking at on Unison. I just have a generic search. So it says the quantity is 49. And it could be because of the hour right now. I'm looking for the frequency that they want this. I don't, and it could be somewhere in here, So something that you're going to want to do, and let me share the screen with you all. And that is, you're going to want to ask a question. And you also want to click this box to see if anybody asks a question. So I would ask a question of, what is the frequency that they want the landscaping services? Because I just know it's for 5 years. And again, it could be that I'm sleepy and it's in here somewhere. I know it has a quantity of 49. So does that mean it's weekly? I'm assuming. I don't know, but here's the deal. There's no reason to assume. You can not only submit the question, but you see right here, how many websites nowadays list their phone number there? You know, even when you contact Amazon, you got to like click the order, do something else. You got to type in the phone number and have them call you. You have to go through so many steps. Not with Unison, because they want you to sell through here. So let's say you get the bid and we find out it's weekly. And they're like, hey, weekly lawn service is going to run, based on what you said, it's going to be $200. Listen, I don't know. I just have my house worked on and I have a property manager. So I don't know what the going rate is for lawn service. Let's say for the sake of argument, it's 500. So they're like, hey, it's going to be $1,000 a month because we got to find the people to do it. It's California, all of these things. Okay, millennial prayers, I appreciate you. Let's say that's the case. So then what you would do, so again, before we even get to anything, right? Because we don't need to go rush and do a proposal. Understanding, knowing the evaluation criteria, getting a quote. Normally, when it's a subcontractor and it's a service like this, you can do a net 30, or you can get away with more time. So let's say you're like, it's $1,000 a week, 49 weeks, 49,000. Let's say you're like bare bone basic, it's $49,000 just to pay the lawn service people. I like a profit of 20%. So we're at 58,800. Keeping in mind, lowest price technically acceptable. So this is where you have to ponder. You have to ponder, is that really going to be a winning price? Is the government really going to pay that amount of money for weekly lawn service? You already know the answer is hell no. So, I mean, so then it's like, okay, what can you do to decrease it? Because right now you would make a profit of $900 a month, hypothetically. Maybe you decrease your profit, so you're making $500 a month. $500 a month, 12 months, $6,000, and you're not even doing anything. You submit an invoice every month. That's going to take you 20 minutes. It could be that what you do is you start off high, because let me show you the next steps. So you go to start bid. I'm just going to type in this stuff here. Accept all the terms. Okay, it says required to include certain information as documented, attached to their bid. Okay. I didn't see any specific information that they were looking for. So this is an opportunity to potentially ask another question. Anytime you need a clarifying question, post it on Unison under Q&A, and feel free to call Unison because, oh, Albert, thank you. Yeah, I'll have to look into that because I don't like dibs at all. And it's not that I don't know how to use dibs or anything. I just don't really like them. But put in there the problem or the situation that you're having. Maybe I can address an hour later because, woo, yeah, it's time to go to bed here in a minute. So you definitely want to get clarification because based on what I showed you all, what do they want from you? Like, what do they need? So let's say it turns out they're like, no, we don't really need anything. So you put in your bid. And then maybe you're like, okay, let's auto stop at 50. Continue. Oh, look, I went crazy. So it went nuts. So let's go back. Let's do 55 and let's do 40. Oh, I know what I did, you guys. I'm so tired. I can't even think of my math. It's by 49. Oh my goodness. Let's say you want 1,500. It's a week. Say you wanted 15, then the auto stop. Maybe you do it at 12. Oh my gosh. Thank you all for being flexible with me. Like my ability to do math is kind of out of it. So you see, I realize that you have to have a lot of available credit to buy the products. Yeah, for products, definitely. That's why I'm covering a service one, Leon. You're right. And it's very misleading. Can you still get products on credit or asking them for terms? Yeah, but again, why am I going to give you 20,000 bottles of lotion? I don't know who you are. We don't even like giving people $5. So why would a company do that? And I'm not saying that the government's trying to buy Bath and Body wild sand, but it's just like, it's something to keep in mind where with this is different because how often is a lawn service company paid? Weekly, monthly? Some may be paid every 90 days if they're providing lawn services for, let's say, an apartment complex or a homeowners association. It's the norm. So with this, you don't have to have the $1,000 every week. Maybe you're like, listen, I'm as a sign of good faith, I'm gonna give you $100 and just know I'm gonna pay you immediately once I get paid. And with something like this, you would invoice probably every month. I mean, it may be that they allow you to invoice every week because of the nature of this, but you're gonna get your money pretty fast. And you could even prepay them. Hey, listen, if you work with me, you wait 30 days before I give you your first payment. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay you a month in advance. Type yes if you're cool with that. If you want a month in advance for waiting for 30 days, type yes if you would do something like that. I would. There's no reason I wouldn't. And as you all are typing, you can see there's also a Unison fee that I don't think you can move the guide me. There we go. Yeah, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want that? So it's also good to be aware of what that fee will be because you don't want that fee to eat up your profit. So make sure there's one of two things that you can do. And that is, one, you include the fee into your profit, or two, you think of the fee as a doing business cost. And that could be a cost that you make up with a different contract. Like McDonald's, they say something to the extent of, oh, they don't make a bunch of money on the burgers and fries. They're making money on the real estate, making money on this and making money on that. You know, it's like those deals, like come in, like Red Robin, all you can eat French fries. French fries are probably super inexpensive to purchase. They're not making money on you stuffing your face with French fries. Listen, don't, I ain't judging. I will be the next person to stuff my face with some French fries too. But it's a doing business cost because they know getting you in the door, you're going to spend at Red Robin. A doing business cost, Walgreens. If you've ever experienced it where you can't get a razor because it's behind a plastic thing that's locked up because people are stealing them, loss prevention, security, the plastic lock case, having employees there to get you a razor at 2 a.m., that's all doing business cost. Are they necessarily passing it along in the price of the razor that I'm buying? Potentially, but it could be passed along in other ways. Maybe it's passed along to the city where that particular location is of Walgreens or CVS. Maybe it's passed along with some other program they have set up or other products that they're selling. It's a doing business as cost. And keep in mind, I'm all about profit. So I'm not saying, oh, bid on this and take a loss. Please don't ever think that is what I'm saying. It's, I want you to see how easy this is. I didn't even open a Word document. Yeah, toilet paper, Josh, paper towels. And remember, a lot of these pharmacies, what do they have? Their own brand, right? So they're able to make money because you're buying their brand of toilet paper. You are buying their brand of paper towels, their brand of almonds and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just something to keep in mind. I'm going to share this with you all here. If you're interested in maybe something that you already have, it's something that you're like, whatevs. I just want to share with you because I think it's one of not only the greatest values that I have for sale, because I always like a call to action, but if you really want to know how somebody who has made well over $3 million in 1 year doing the middleman approach, get that video. It's a whopping $49. You won't regret it. And I know probably many of you already have it, or if you're watching the replay and you made it this far, check out this video. It's amazing because the key is to understand, to know the set aside, and to create your own ocean. While you can see in this demonstration, it's really super easy to use Unison, right? There's nothing here where you're like, man, this is hard. The challenge comes in, awesome, Zach, I'm glad you purchased this. The challenge comes in with doing all of the work, putting in the bid, calling the landscaping, making sure the landscaping's doing what they need to do. And you can substitute landscaping for Save a Back training. This is real training that the government purchased. You can substitute it with art. You can substitute it with redoing a floor. So I mean, Owen, I think it's super helpful because so many people have reached out to Melody, who works for me. She's my amazing ops lead. And they've reached out to me asking about the middleman. And if you really want to know how it all works, get this video for $49. It's the best $49 you're going to ever spend. You're going to be like, oh man. Because what's key is you learn so you are empowered. So you're not just going into this space of being a government contractor without having key information. You want all this information because you have a lot of people where they just don't bid. There's hundreds of thousands of companies registered in sam.gov, and a very, very, very small percentage actually even bid. So for those of you who are bidding, I commend you because you are bidding amongst a very few number of people. You are. So I want to say just keep going forward, keep learning. Also, if you haven't already, I will give you my amazing Facebook group to join. And I know there may be some of you out there who you're like, Facebook? I don't do Facebook. You know, and I want to say this. Yeah, Zach, you're totally on it. It's the case, very small percentage. I want to say this when it comes to Facebook. Somebody, I think they posted it in Facebook or maybe in a YouTube live, and they said that they just attended some kind of event and they talked about getting involved in a community around government contracting. And she said that she never is in Facebook, but because of what they said, she joins Facebook. That's the purpose. It's not for you to follow your mom and dad or keep an eye on your kids or check out the latest celebrity gossip. It's a very useful place for communities to learn. And so it's private. I have contracting officers there. There's people in the group like Miss Tammy who works for a big company. So this isn't some group of, you know, we're GovCon winners. We ain't those people. We're amazing. Okay, if there's so much competition out there with those small businesses, how does one have a chance? Afin or Afan, you have a chance. Number one, your mindset. The world is full of abundance. The world is full of money. There's so much money. There's so many opportunities. That's number one. Number two, what is meant for me is going to happen. Number three, most people don't bid. They just don't. They just don't bid. So, I mean, they don't. Even if you're like, well, I understand, why wouldn't a lawn service company do that? Because they're busy taking care of their other clients. They don't want to spend the time. Oh, there's so much red tape. It's so hard. I don't want to do it. Okay. I mean, I personally don't know anyone who's like, man, Kizzy, I'm worth $100 million. And it was so easy, girl. I just oh, and I get all this money. I mean, I don't know people like that. I've never in my life. And I've come across a lot of people. I've come across billionaires. I've come across people who aren't billionaires. I've come across people who have made money, lost money. I've come across all different kinds of people in my life. And I'll say this, it's never because of just some magical thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Gia Link. I didn't even see your comment. I'll give you the link right here. I'm so sorry. It's never because of just, you know, it's super, super easy. Now, do I think that this is super, super hard? Heck no. I think it's very easy to win a contract. The challenge is making sure you have a profitable business and you understand what it takes to continuously find, bid, and win contracts. So you have a business, not, I want a contract. Okay, and then what happened? Right? So now you may decide, hey, I want a contract. It's not really for me. Okay, that's cool. That's respect. I have lots of respect for that. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's things that have changed in my life that I just don't want to do anymore. Oh, thank you, Jeff is learning. I'm glad you found all of this. I'm catching the end. I'm trying to locate. I just put it on here. I just put the link on here. The video that I referenced a few minutes ago. Here, I'll give you a few of them. Just bear with me for a second. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm like, I can't even type YouTube. I'm like, what is this? What is this thing called? I'm like, what? I know y'all hate my singing, but I love my singing, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, let me stop. Wow, I have a lot of videos for you. Just give me a moment. Okay, so how do I share this one? Just give me a second. It'll take you to YouTube Creator. Okay, great. Here we go. So that's a good one to watch. David's video is a separate link. Okay. I recently retired from, you know what? I forget this every time. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification. My name is Dr. Kizzy Parks, been awarded over $70 million in government contracts if you're just joining. I recently retired from 22 years of working in law enforcement. I'm really excited about working from the civilian side. This is my first live and I learned so much from you. Miss Shelley, thank you. Thank you for your service. And I appreciate that. You know, I'm just here to provide. Yeah, I love this. I would look at it differently. Opportunities aren't limited. People limit opportunities, but yep. And then society reinforces it. Oh, why are you working so hard? It's Saturday. Why are you working so hard? It's your birthday. Why are you working so hard? It's sunny. Why are you working so hard? It's raining. Like, it's like, it cracks me up, you know. Oh my gosh. I used to get that all the time. We just work so hard, huh? I'm like, wow, that's a nice little backhanded remark there. Oh, that's so cute. Well, it's enjoyable and it's fulfilling, it's thrilling. And I'm on the path to create a life that even today I can't imagine having. And the big part of it is helping. My main company, we have 100 team members. I'm not just some pretty face who's like, government contracting, here you go. Like, I have government contracts, you guys. I have a lot of them. So I just laugh. I don't know. I'm laughing. Y'all probably like, woo, she goofy. But I thought it was funny, you know. But we'll work hard. Yep. Sure will. Sure will. We'll work hard for an employer that has no problem saying you're cut. Now, please don't think that I'm like anti 9 to 5. I want to make that very clear. I'm not anti 9 to 5. I'm anti fighting harder for your excuses than fighting for you. Thank you so much, Zach, and all y'all for giving me the pass. That's what I'm against. Those who are fighting so hard. Well, you don't understand, Kizzy. I got kids. Okay, I got it. I don't have kids, but guess what? I have people, I know entrepreneurs who have kids. I mean, my friend just had her second child and she's DMing me things about saving taxes. I mean, it's like, it's not about your blessings in life. Your kids are a blessing. Your children aren't an excuse. Is my thought. I'm just saying, listen, again, don't come for me. Listen, ain't nobody trying. I got no kids. I'm anti-Kizzy, you know? I agree with you. I think your kids should be your reason, but it's about maybe you just admit to yourself, I don't really want to do it. And it's okay not to really want to do it. Right? There's nothing wrong with being like, screw government contracting and screw her and her cute hair. Okay, that's cool, whatever. I won't be offended. I'm never offended regardless, but it's about being honest with yourself. And it's like, just know if you're like, listen, I want to take a chance. I want to look into potentially middleman or bidding or subcontracting or whatever approach you want to take. Just know the more information you have, the more empowered you are. Because it just a lot. I don't want to keep going into it. You all have been so amazing. I'm going to put the link in here one more time if you haven't picked up the video for $49 on the middleman approach. I'm going to put the link here again. I'm about to go to bed, which is one of my favorite parts of the night. Just be realistic about what you want to do and stick to it. Yeah, I mean, I love how you said it, so eloquent. It's very true. And don't let the ups and downs get you. You know, there's anytime. I appreciate you. And I'll kind of close with this. There's, Alex Hormozy. I adore him. I love watching his content. He's such a savvy business owner, and I suggest you check out his content. And so he talked about business, the beginning and the end. He's like, at the beginning, you're super excited. You're just starting. At the end, you're super excited because maybe you sell, you transition out, whatever it is you do. He said that it's like the suck is in the middle, but that's where all the real work happens. So it's about embracing that middle. And I embraced that middle for well over 10 years. And that's why I'm here, because I don't want you to have to go through what I went through over the span of 10 years. I'm here to teach you everything I know, to show you everything I know. And for those of you who are still here or joined late, I'm Dr. Kizzy Parks, been awarded over 70 million in government contracts, but also to learn too and let you know, I don't know every single thing. I'm never going to know every single thing. I didn't know that the Army needed almost 100,000 beanies. I mean, but that's true with that. So I adore you all. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you again. Thank you all so much for being here. Join my Facebook group if you haven't already. Thank you. Yeah, I don't play around, but there was a time when I did play around. It's like that meme. You know what happens when you play around. So I wasn't always putting in the work, but I look at it like it was part of my journey. It's not to look back and I don't look back, I look forward. So I appreciate you recognizing that. And I got way more work to put in, y'all. This is only the beginning as I age in reverse. Okay, take care. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and always remember,